Alright, I'm gonna get started today because I have more World Desert Championship Sand League games that I want to take a look at. If you want information, you can always use the chat command, you can always read it, you can also just Google it, World Desert Championship. The Sand League is the team that didn't make it into the main event, and we have lots of good teams in here and exciting games to look at. And I was also thinking about maybe if I end up being able to cast the finals as well, time-wise, that might be a good time when I can actually go through like the full environmental issues sheet, because hopefully there'll be a few more viewers for that. Maybe I can do it live, we'll have to see. But we're not that far yet. We still have some round of 16 games, and then some of the quarterfinal games have already been played, but not all of them. I'm not going to be covering any of those today. I don't even know if I'll get through all of the ones I want to here with the round of 16, because that's still 3 sets, and these sets tend to take a while at the speed that we're going through them. So I might do more skipping through things when there's not much action happening. We'll see. Anyway, let's get started with game number 1 between PL versus HYMB. These are, of course, all abbreviations for the full team names. In order to keep the file names from being excessively long, you can look up the actual brackets on Wikipedia, I believe. And this is a map pack game, and it seems as if we've randomed Pag. I'm going to remove the Fog of War, get us the score that we want to see, and let's take a look here. So we have had this map a few times. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but essentially the players are in a line with a team in the south. We have Britons, Franks, and Ethiopians up against Britons, Huns, and Ethiopians. Note though that the positions here are not really mirrored because we have Britons and Ethiopians at the front. This is just because the players picked each team picked sort of a flexible double archer single cavalry setup, not knowing which map they would get. When they get this specific map, then they end up having a flank in the middle and a pocket very far at the end. So let's take a look and see where players decide to dock, or if we see, say, a very early drush coming in or some very early walls. That's kind of what we need to watch for in Dark Age on this map. So far we're seeing some sheep scouting. They're just pushing in their deer. No super exposed berries this time around. Alright, it looks like red player's docking here, and so is purple. Yellow's docking on this side. And on this team we have teal docking here on this side, green not docking yet, and blue not docking yet. And neither team, interestingly enough, going for the super early walls, which we've seen previously on this map. I am seeing a somewhat forward barracks here, so this would be for a drush. Well, it's going to be actually men-at-arms, or it could be archers very early on. We will see. Red is also on the way to feudal here, so very quick feudal from our center flank players, so to say. Red is starting to wall. Okay. I've got a barracks there. Got This is going to be an archery range here. Interestingly, this is the first time that players haven't gone for a super early wall on this map. Usually we've seen that followed by, say, attempts at landings. And it looks like our northern team definitely has a stronger water focus. We'll see how that works for them. Here we have double archery range coming up. Yeah, everyone's playing this very standard no rush straight into archers. Well, let's see. The archers might be early enough here to help deny the walling, along with all the scouts from this team. Alright, walling behind using the gold. That's going to leave this gold very easily pressurable. And there's still a hole here. Blue scout is too low though to pick off any of these villagers. Yellow's here to help fight off this scout. Purple also sending the scout here to make sure that this wall goes up. So let's take a look here. So red going in for skirmishers immediately, being somewhat later to feudal. And still only one archery range. Because more wood is going to getting the walls up. Which should momentarily happen here, yeah. So, at this point, red is theoretically walled. Currently has lumberjacks chopping the front of the wood. That's of course not very good. Yeah, on both sides. Or maybe those helped. Those helped wall the front, I think, actually. Blue will attempt to break through here along with green scouts. Now if we look at everyone else, yellow getting ready for Castle Age, honestly. Teal is already researching Castle Age. We've seen, well, no naval aggression yet, but mainly because our southern team doesn't have any navy on this side. And alright, we see a tower here. That was, I guess, a panic tower to defend both the wood and the gold, knowing that this wall wouldn't hold up to this many scouts and archers. So we see a dance here of archers, skirmishers, and scouts. And the tower here that can help out. Yeah, no need for landing when you have a hole. Red, of course, can start to pressure this coastline. But red is perhaps too busy having to defend here. Second archery range coming up. Yeah, okay, so the only player that's going to be going very quickly for feudal is teal. Purple going archers as well. That is what you would normally do as a flank, but here you're actually a deep pocket. Wow. Yeah, teal is now adding the town center, has the archery ranges. Alright, now yellow's clicking up to Castle Age as well. And has sent the scouts here south, but is already up against crossbows. And being chased down by all of these scouts. But that is what blue gets for not walling, or not walling yet. This is re-walled. And we're looking for some pretty standard play there. So far, no naval aggression, although some players are just collecting fish. Archers will be able to pressure this location. Yeah, so red's gonna have a bit of a wood issue going forward. See about that. No one else on the way to castle yet, other than yellow. What has Teal got? Teal had some crossbows and is sending more crossbows. And let's check over here. This house will go down. Could go down at least. Fishing ships being raided. House does go down. Red gets up a tower on this side as well to defend. And the palisade behind goes down. Garrison tower, though, is something you don't want to necessarily fight with feudal archers. Yeah, now red has the issue that red had to wall very close. So everything is quite vulnerable. Blue is sort of pseudo-walled somewhat, but this is full of holes. But as long as our team from the south can maintain the land military pressure, they don't need to wall necessarily. Alright, green is now on the way to Castle Age as well, and purple as well. Leaving only blue and red in the center, not on the way to Castle Age yet. Alright, teal is now docked the other side as well to help contest that. Perhaps. Alright. Blue and teal also has some ships here. Checking the shallows at the moment. Purple has walled is walled off the back passage. And we see blue has a lot of archers here. And alright, purple now is upgraded to crossbowmen as well. And yeah, teal needs to come back to help join in this fight. Yellow's knights being chased away. Blue losing a lot here because these crossbows are out of position to help out in this fight. Actually, blue losing everything. All the military. Those were a lot of archers that just went down. Red now clicks up to Castle Age. Blue is not on the way to Castle Age yet. It's quickly getting some panic walls up. And they do get up, but there are holes immediately. Blue is not producing more military. Probably trying to get to Castle Age as well. Right, teal now starting to attack these fishing ships. No player going for the side just yet. Let me take a look at blue's resources. Blue doesn't have the resources for Castle Age. Blue is also not producing anything other than a bunch of villagers. So hopefully Blue's allies here will be able to deal with this, although at the moment it looks like that's not the case. All the knights going down. Teal and red could probably push in here and take these 22 crossbows. Could take those crossbows. Yeah, I worry about blue here, who's in fact only booming. Doesn't have the resources for Castle Age. Alright, now some archers are coming out again. Oh, that's a random demo to maybe deal with these ships. Teal too busy though to actually go scout around for more fishing ships to take out. see here. Yeah, okay. Blue's starting to produce archers again. The problem here now is that blue is stuck behind it. Feudal and everyone else has made it to Castle Age. But I'm not sure blue can afford to just stall production of... But perhaps with a few more villagers on gold, enough food will eventually accumulate to reach Castle Age here as well. Let's see. We see Imperial Age come up for purple, who has been basically untouched, would be fair to say. Red burning down that dock. Green pointing out this dock. Teal's gonna go send the fire galleys in. Meanwhile, here in the center, Teal and Green maintaining some military to give Blue the breathing space to finally get up to Castle Age. Well, Blue really does need to get some military out again. Alright, Red managed to get sort of a TC up here to secure the gold. Yeah, we're not much, just a bit of token fighting on the naval side of things. The main action is happening here in the center. Our Blue's military numbers. I'm seeing 10 again, that's something. At this point, the fact, alright, Teal is now clicking up to Imperial as well. So each of the deep pockets going for Imp first. That makes sense. So these will be Arbalests in a moment. We'll have chemistry and bracer and everything else they might want. Oh. Well, no player is strapped for resources just yet. Yeah, there we go. There are the Arbalests. 4 artillery production now. Blue reaches Castle Age, upgrading the crossbowmen now. And where is Green's cavalry? Should there not be... they go on a raid? Should there not be some... There they are. Why are they down here? Oh, they're chasing the Yellow Knights. Fair enough. Yellow has more knights, though. Alright, so Teal up to an Imp as well. Getting those upgrades. That quick wall failed. This tower gets taken down by archers, arbalests, and crossbows. We have a castle being dropped here, and we have a counter castle here to help secure the front. Both castles are likely to go up, and neither of these players is Imperial. Like, Green is now also clicking out. Actually, Green is down here. Getting up. Teal's getting up the castle there. No one else is going to Imperial just yet. This is a good position. being able to pressure this wood will secure more wood for red even, but also deny this gold. This secures the wood here, and secures this gold. Alright, we have siege work track coming up. These arbalests have made it through, and this castle should already be up to help defend, but the villagers are still coming. Which means they're... Oh, sorry, the arbalests are still So this raid could cause some damage. A few skirmishes on the sea, but nothing noteworthy. Alright, we see green and teal moving down to deal with this raid, which has already done a fair amount of damage. Green attempting to wall it out from getting any further down. Meanwhile, essentially, I guess rams will help against the archers, and it's starting to ram down these archer ranges. Blue has not built new archery ranges yet. Red getting another castle up. As soon as red reaches Imperial, yellow's going up now as well. That will be Trebs here, probably be the end. Right, purple finally cleaned up, so teal and green can move up again. Yeah, I think this is decided then by which of blue and red reaches Imperial first. And can Treb down. Otherwise, I suppose we could also see reinforcing Trebs come out like this. Do I see any rolling out from... Not yet. Rams are actually going to go down to this many arms. There's the trebuchet. That's safe and on the same elevation. Blue not producing anything right now. Receiving a tribute to get Imperial Age, which is allowed when players that are in Imperial can sling any amount of resources. No limits there to any player. Alright, second Treb coming in. Third Treb coming in. Red going for rams. Not going for Imperial just yet. Yellow... our northern team doesn't have any other castles from other players. That's why we haven't seen any Trebs there yet. Yellow will be able to send some now. So far this castle's holding. Also, just briefly to note here, we see purple moving out with a lot of archery ranges. Starting to build up military here, just patrolling this side. And no one bothering with these islands currently. We don't have any Lithuanian players, of course, so no desperate need for the relics. Red is still in Castle Age, blue on the way in. And Trebs will move up and pressure this castle now. That is a lot of trebuchets. And here we just have basically cavalry soaking damage for the archers behind. Blue getting a second castle now. Alright, red also picking up. This castle is going to go down. We see green getting one up here, so it looks like our southern team is on the offensive again, getting paladin in, paladin on both sides. The question now is, do they have the military counter-pressure? Because what I don't see from blue is much army. In fact, I see zero military. Blue is researching arm now. He's focusing on castles before. building. Blue also very low on the villager count here, only 46 villagers compared to even red with 75. Trebuchet's moving up further to take out the next town. And let's see. Seems we have JG from our northern team who doesn't have the military to stop this push. I think critical here was the fact that our northern team wasn't able to supply any trebs to have a treb war. And the military counts were even enough that they couldn't push the trebuchets just with their army. Also Red's Imperial TC was over here and went down. That is most unfortunate for Red. We do see Red and Purple building up here, but that doesn't quite come to that. In order for that to become relevant, this needs to stalemate out in the center. Alright, and just as a quick refresher, in the World Desert Championship game, or the second point is decided by a best of 3 in 1v1s, with some picking and such that you can read about if you're interested, how exactly the maps are decided there. I think one of the teams decides the first map, the other team says who they're going to send to play, something like that, and then it's flipped for the second one, and the third one is a mirror on the map pack if it comes to that. Something along those lines, if I remember correctly. In any case, let's look at game number 1, or 2.1, on Atacama. Alright, Fog 4, player scores. Loom coming in immediately because we probably have a Mayans mirror, yeah. And Mayans need to build a house before they can produce villagers. So that's why you research Loom immediately. So they start with 4 villagers and a scout. And they both seem, well, actually, I would say Grey is a bit further away from the central forest, but not excessively so. And I am going to do the same thing I've been doing before and fast forward through parts of the games, especially the Dark Age, if there isn't much activity happening. Just because we have a lot of games to look at, and they take a lot of time. If I had more time, I would talk about the maps some more. I tried to do that when we see a new map for the first time, or I could talk a bit more about the desert issues, but I think I'll do that when we have more viewers for maybe the finals. In any case, Grey will get to feudal first, and both players are going for archers. You can see that because they're starting to collect gold very early on, and archers cost gold. I mean, actually, they could also send Eagle Scouts, but that's not typically a play you see at a reasonable skill level. It's what I might do, but I'm not as good as these players. Also, for eagles, you would need more food and less on wood. So this is, in fact, going to be some archers. Alternatively, players could also send in men-at-arms. initially as a bit of a drush, or feudal age men-at-arms, which we do see coming out from blue. We're not going to see from grey, who's already getting up the archery range. And we'll likely even have archers out before this militia makes it anywhere near the gold here. Grey going for the center now, and blue already collecting wood there. So let's see here. There's the first archer. One archer is not so much of a threat yet. These are all full HP. And yeah, blue going for man-at-arms. And now attempting to get up an archery range, which grey is successfully delayed by a few seconds. And let's see here. Men-at-arms are in. Archer counts are low, so villagers have to fight here as well. They do. We see an archer, I think, went down there. Villagers are forced to run away because they're all low HP. And grey doesn't quite have the archer numbers to really fight this just yet. Has brought this Eagle Scout home, though. Another archery range going up. Grey is currently getting wood over there. Alright. Let's see, alright. Blue adding in a skirmisher to deal with the archers. And he's going to send these villagers home. It's probably actually going to get one of them, or maybe even both. Meanwhile, the skirmishers helping to deal with the archers. Blue sending more skirmishers. The disadvantage of skirmishers, of course, is, well, twofold, I suppose. They're not particularly good against, say, men-at-arms. They're not particularly good against villagers. They would only be good against spearmen, which it doesn't make sense to make in this situation with a Mesoamerican mirror. Or they're good against archers, which we are seeing lots of. Yep, so blue already getting blacksmith upgrades, grey building the blacksmith now. What grey probably needs to deal with this many skirmishers is a few more Eagle Scouts. And then the archers could take out the men-at-arms. But right now, grey is actually moving out to attack. So blue will be able to deal some damage here. Although, as said, skirmishers are not particularly damaging versus villagers. They are good against archers, though. Especially since these archers, well, they're all gone now, lacked. Well, they got the attack upgrade now. They're going to be dealing some damage over here. Probably getting one of these as well. That's going to be 3 villagers down. Maybe this one too. That could be 4. Oh, that's 4. Yeah, that's... So we have 12-12 on kills and deaths here. Shot it. And grey's going to continue raiding there. Blue's going to continue raiding here. Yeah, grey now adding in an Eagle Scout to help deal with this. Blue's still producing skirmishers to deal with this. And overall, things have stayed pretty even throughout this. Blue now with a bit of the upper hand in terms of kills and deaths. But these skirmishers will now all go down. The Eagle has some pierce armor and can exploit the skirmishers' minimum range, or can at least chase them home at this point. Meanwhile, here these archers are being chased home. So we'll see which player gets to Castle Age first, or if the players decide to mass up more in feudal. One other disadvantage actually of producing a lot of skirmishers is that they cost you a lot of food, which is in short supply when you're producing villagers, or when you want to mass up 800 food for Castle Age. Alright, so this is a sizable skirmisher army. We have some more Eagle Scouts. Eagle Scouts produce quite slowly in Feudal Age. Eagle Warriors produce much faster than in Castle Age. Defensive Tower coming up here. Archers here. Defensive Tower coming up here too. Very, very mirrored to this whole situation. Blue is fighting under a garrison tower. So both sides will have some losses here, but most of Blue's military will either go down or be forced to withdraw. Meanwhile, Gray causing some damage here, such that things still look decently even. And Gray now has much more military, having basically cleared this out, and will likely pick off. Well, hard to say. Probably pick up one or more of these skirmishers. Oh yeah, grouping up. Blue actually sending some reinforcements here. See, alright, Gray is getting archer armor upgrades. Do we see those? We do not see any of those on Blue. And we see our continued feudal skirmish. Neither player being ready to click up the Castle Age just yet. And alright, Gray, for lack of reinforcements, is going to have to withdraw momentarily. Well, it looks like Blue might be able to wall in this whole front. There's a hole there, though. And not there. Eagle Scouts currently don't have any extra armor or attack. Although Gray is getting the armor now on those, which will help. These archers now also have armor, where these also have armor. Relatively even sort of fight happening here. How are we looking? Villager counts, Blue slightly ahead. Military count, Gray slightly ahead, and very even kills and deaths still. Blue walling all the way to the mountains, although it might be possible to sneak around there. But that's not really necessary as long as there's holes in the front. Which Gray knows about. And Blue also knows about, and is going to close. Alright, so Blue clicking up to Castle Age. Gray not anywhere near clicking up to Castle Age, and doesn't have many villagers on food right now. There are a lot of villagers on wood, 19. Not many on food. So we'll see, Gray now needs to basically deal damage in the next 2 or 3 minutes, while Blue is behind, having spent all those villagers on Castle Age. And currently it looks to me more like Gray's losing military. And will not have... He's going for skirmishers and eagles now. Both of those things cost food. So Gray will have trouble getting to Castle Age just yet. Just Yeah, that's all. It's fine. Cool, cool. Yeah, alright. So, Gray now attempting to force this with several Eagle Scouts forward, see? And still now investing heavily in Eagle Scouts and skirmishers. This attack did not quite succeed, but we now see a second barracks, second archery range, more farms being added. Well, here we have 2 archery ranges, 1 barracks. Gray doesn't have the military, notices Castle Age and decides, nope, I can't push this right now. Calls a GG. And I'm going to very briefly grab myself a small snack. I'll be back in just a second, and then we'll see the next game. All right, let's look at game 2.2 on. Okay, let's try pronouncing this properly now that I can see it here. Winyanga. 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 Yeah, let's load that. I don't believe we've seen a 1v1 on this map. We've seen a fair share of 3v3s here. Excuse me while I go silent for a moment and eat my food, but I'll keep looking at the map for you. Alright, so we've noticed a couple things. First of all, we have Malians versus Berbers. And so that's sort of an infantry versus cavalry matchup. We also have our teal player docking, and our purple player deciding to dock later, only getting a dock out now. Neither player going for the corners, although here the walk distance is a lot shorter and milling this could well be viable, although this is tricky to wall in if it actually does get raided. Also, I noticed while the overall oasis is much thinner, there are in fact not that many resources to be had in the center in the 1v1 here. Also, the lake is smaller, and I see only 2 relics. 3 relics. Also, I was looking, I don't see the Gaia builder that we saw as a bug, so that might have just actually been a bug. When we last saw that on this map on a 3v3. I never did investigate that further. No idea why that happened then. Alright, purple getting up a second dock now. Let's slow down the game a bit and see. Alright, teal already has 2 docks, so we're going to be seeing water. And we also see teal has many villagers on wood. not many villagers on food. And I assume we'll see the same here. Yeah, neither player is even, or well, no mill here. Yeah, neither player's built a mill because both players are investing heavily in their docks. So we're gonna see a full naval fight here. Only barracks coming out only just now here, and no barracks here either. Purple instead going for the third dock. Scout goes down there. Yeah, we're gonna see full, alright, now we see an archery range from teal. Well, purple is committing to water now. Well, he's gonna scout the archery range. Momentarily, he's gonna see the second archery range too if purple actually checks. Or we'll at least see the archers when they come out. And is now quickly getting up to barracks as well. And shall we check if purple has seen... Oh yeah, purple's seen the archery rangers. That makes sense. Relatively even. Oh no, so there's some fishing ships that purple has in there. I guess they will tank shots. Need to focus, yep. Always focusing down the weak ones here is the way to do it. In these early fights. Purple can win this simply by having more water production. Or should win this naval battle. But, alright, it's getting up an archery range as well. Because there are archers coming in. And you need at least one if you're going to make, say, defensive skirmishers. Well, purple not producing out of all three docks currently. But maybe that's because some wood is required for skirmishers to deal with this. Hello. I did not make this map. I don't have memorized who made this one, but you can look that up, or I could look it up. I think it was... Actually, I would just check, just to make sure. Because we have maps from a lot of different creators in here. This was actually one that placed very highly in the contest, I believe. Might have gotten second place. Purple, surprisingly, is not winning water, but that's because not all docks are producing all of the time. Skirmishers and archers here. No one's ever gone for the corners in any of the games I've watched. So that, I think, is something... it's not rewarding enough in the early game. Either that or players don't know the maps well enough to know that they could go there. And by the time that they notice, it's not worth it anymore. I think this is a good example of why you should check to make sure your map works on different sizes. Like on 3v3, you have a pretty big central oasis here. It's sort of narrower everywhere, but it's pretty good for... leads to interesting gameplay. The corners have lots of deer and boar. That's what the corners are for. It's food, actually. But I think because there's a standard amount of food, like players have the normal amount of food around their town center. They have berries, They have deer here, which they can push. They had elephants, and they can go for fish. At that point, if players are going for all of that, then they don't need the food that could be in the corners. Which is why we haven't seen in any of the games on this map players actually going for it. Because you would just need to build a mill here, send like 5-6 villagers, and you have hunt for days. But there is the risk that if the enemy scouts that, they can send 2 or 3 scouts or a couple archers, and you might have a hard time defending them. Defending your villagers over there. Right, so purple is finally winning water here. Neither player making any more military because they both want to go to Castle Age. These archers are going to go away now that the skirmishers are here. Alright, teal clicking up to Castle Age. That's interesting because this one's sort of... Players have to decide how much, or in team games, how many players invest in water and how much. There is some potential for demos, there's more potential for, say, having galleys sit here and just harass farms. But players also need to sort of pressure the sides. That's a lumber camp that's pretty far away from home. Maybe hoping that teal won't find that lumber camp? Or maybe that will be the site of a future town center? Huh. Yeah, it looks very nice. Also with, like, you can do terrain masking when you make maps. So this is desert and grass here mixed with each other. That doesn't exist as a terrain on its own. These are 2 different terrains layered on top of each other, which makes sort of a nice transition zone effect. Similarly, you sort of have this transition zone here around the stone. That's all something new you can do with Definitive Edition. These... are they going to see? Oh... Yep, they see the... they see these villagers, and they could just... yeah. That's why I was questioning this lumber camp. Alright, both players now going for cavalry. Teal losing water. So really what purple should do is add in like a few galleys and just start shooting at the town center, shooting at these lumberjacks. Yeah, exactly. This is masking or layering. That's what it's called in the map script. Terrain mask, I believe, is the attribute that you use for that. Also here, some sort of mud transition that looks very nice. Actually, 1v1, it's fairly easy to wall. You could wall all the way to the dock and you'd have the side fully walled. There would be potential for demos, although I don't think we're going to see any. Our Berbers get pretty good camels. So we're going to see lots of those. And what have we seen? We have 3 town centers here. See, no one cares about the corners. I think you would need to reduce the amount of food near players, and then they might think more about going to the corners. Alright, purple now has water control, so that means some extra fish, although these are only shore fish, and fishing boats gather shore fish smaller than they gather normal fish. More slowly. Yeah, the layering. Basically, there are 2 different modes as well, where which terrain is on top decides the actual properties. Or, no, the one that's below does. It's slightly confusing, but once you do it with examples, it makes more sense. Like, if you can mix a desert with water, and depending on which one is actually providing the properties, it will either be a desert-looking ocean that ships can sail through, or it will just be a watery desert that units can walk on. And that can also confuse players if you use, like, rock terrain that's normally unbuildable, which this one is normally buildable anyway, so that's just purely aesthetic here. And we have a monk coming out here, camels. So essentially, it's even though these are different civilizations, we're playing out mirrored strategies here. Yeah, purple doesn't have that big an advantage from controlling the water. It's really some, I think, just like galleys or a few demos here just to scare, but that's probably not worth the investment. I think galleys could be interesting though. Both players focusing on their camels and knights. What do we have here in the corner? Oh, that's still the feudal archer army walking around just checking. And both players are sort of massing military. Not pushing right now. Chico. Let's see when we get a big engagement here. Because this is where it's going to be. Fairly. Yeah, both players are content to just build up their numbers, it seems. 20, 32, but some of those are knights. Purple should win this fight, right? Let's see here. We have some conversions coming out on both sides. Purple has more monks here. Meanwhile, over here, that's just a feudal. Like, 2 knights would clear this up. I will check whatever post that is on Discord after this game. I can comment on that. I think, without having too detailed of knowledge here, but I think purple is winning this, right? I'm seeing a vast military difference. So teal, well, I just had less military. And I don't think Malian camels have anything special about them. The Berber ones are cheaper? Let me check. Yeah, there we go. All stable units are cheaper. And, well, the camel regeneration, of course, doesn't happen until you've built a castle and research that. But cheaper already helps build a numbers advantage. So yeah, this should be over. Well, purple actually hasn't done much damage to the economy. It still has a lot more military, so yeah, that is over. Let me. Alright, yeah, very even villager counts. But this military build-up here. That's what cheaper units will do for you. Let me quickly see what if there was a post on Discord. I don't know which post you mean. You have to be more specific. I don't see a new post regarding these maps. In general, chat. I don't see a new post. Oh, wait. I have streamer mode on Discord. That makes sense. Give me a second. No, this is not. So, I'll talk about it in the Dark Age of the next game. But I do know what he's talking about. Give me a moment. Let's look. So that is just a copy so the same team won games 1 and 2 here. So we can look at game 3 on the map pack. We'll load that. And so that post is about, I think a year ago, roughly, there was a tournament called Masters of RMS that also had a map scripting contest and some set maps made by various map scripters, including me. And then the map that won the contest, plus all the maps that we had made, were used in the tournament. And basically all of the tournament maps were new maps. You can look that up. I casted some of that because, well, the people who said they would backed out and didn't do it. and because, you know, my maps and a bunch of interesting maps were in there, similar to this event. That's sort of why I'm casting this. So, yeah, that's what that event is. There's no specific funding for it, so sort of last time I think I actually donated €100 or $100 to the prize pool to encourage people to submit more entries to the contest. And it was a great way. It was basically like this. It produced a lot of new maps from the RMS community. I made, for that one, I made 2 things. I made and I made Random River. Yeah. As set maps, and then I think I helped judge the contest maps. Didn't enter the contest myself though, because I'd already made set maps. So on this map, we've seen some wacky strategies. I don't see any players going for it this time. The wacky strategy we've seen is building an immediate barracks, immediately getting, say, 1 or even multiple militia out, and just gathering a bunch of these Komodo dragons and sending them to an enemy. Yeah, I don't know. Because there aren't many events that feature new map scripter or new maps that have like map creation contests. There's been this. Before that there was Masters of RMS. Before that there was something called Spring Brawl that had a contest. That was also a 3v3 event. And before that you have to go back a while. ECL had, for each part of the, or basically had a contest as well to pick some maps for, pick a new map for each part of the world that they were doing. But that was pre-definitive edition even. So okay, so we're in fact not seeing any crazy Dark Age strategies here. The next possible strategy is in Feudal Age to make, say, a very early stable, perhaps, and send in a couple scouts or a couple archers with an early archery range. I haven't really talked about the civilizations either. We've Mayans, Vikings, Persians, Mongols, Franks, Chinese. All typical when you don't know what map you're going to get. Good hybrid map civilizations. Right, I want to see. Yeah, okay, there's a spearman, so let's see if the spearman manages to collect some predators and bring them, because these fences only have 1 hit point. That is the standard amount of hit points for the fence object. So all this spearman needs to do is walk by a lot of these, pop a hole here in the fence, and then go attack a villager and die. And then the villagers have to deal with all of these. Maybe over here. Let's watch this. I could watch something else, but this is, of course, this is the exciting thing that's happening. And in he goes. And yellow is not suspecting anything and is going to... and now it's going to have to fight all of these. Does yellow have loom at least? Yellow does have loom. You do want to have loom on this map for this specific reason. He's going to lose a villager, 2 villagers. He's going to lose all the villagers in this middle part. So... this was a very successful predator raid. Meanwhile, we have typical feudal skirmishes here, but... and is green going to repeat this? Green is not training another one. Okay. Thought there might be a chance that green just goes for doing it again. Give me just a second, I need to check something. Alright, I'm back. Let's continue checking here. And there's also the question of how much you want to invest here in the center. It is only 3 villagers for each enemy that you could deal with, but central control is also important for late game gold, especially on 1v1. Yeah, so if we want to talk, coming up with new maps is quite difficult, you say. Well, you just need an idea, and then you need to know how to implement it, or have some thoughts about doing that. Which can also be tricky sometimes, until you know the limitations of what you can actually do in maybe 2 map scripts. Red. What is going on here? Are these... where are these villagers going? They're building a tower here, okay. Red is not looking happy right now. He's not in a good state here. And we got here, oh, this wall isn't going to go up anytime soon. I kind of want to see green try this again, because there are enough predators that the same thing could be done here. The blue or red could, of course, quick wall in the villagers. But... like here, you know, it's basically a mill, a farm, 2 farms that are all useless now, plus 3 villagers down there for yellow. And now, unless red gets some very quick walls up, which red is going to try and do. But now red is going to have these predators just waiting outside. What green actually should have done there is, instead of fighting these, should have just deleted it, probably, at that point. But it still means these archers, or these villagers here, can't go anywhere else without risk of being attacked. Let's check here. Teal is running around. I think our green-blue teal team is doing better. Overall, just looking at the minimap. Not specifically looking at numbers here, but also military counts do seem to favor them quite substantially. So, he's green. Alright, green has now chopped a connection here. Almost. Hasn't actually chopped one yet. There are 3 more villagers and more of these Komodo dragons. And purple calls GG. I think, well, red was heavily raided here. We didn't watch that closely, but purple failed to get the walls up and has teal military running around everywhere. And both yellow, well, yellow lost all the villagers here, and red's villagers are now trapped here, might not even all be able to chop wood. So, and the other thing that we didn't watch, but it looks like the red army and the yellow scouts here just all went down to all of these archers and green scouts. But yeah, so the central area means that you can have some fun, wacky early game strategies. I don't know if they'll be solved. But yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing in Castle Age here, right? If they didn't resign, it would be over at that point anyway with knights. But they call the GG before it comes to that. So let's take a look at, so that was game 3. Let's take a look at game 4. Haha, we get to look again at Pamir Mountains. Hopefully it's a slightly fairer nomad start than we saw in the last one. So the last game, if you were there, right, that was the one where one of the players was entirely walled in because he spawned so close to the enemy, or because he built a town center so close to the enemies. Oh. The allies did manage to do enough damage to give that player time to break free. They did win in the end. So here we have to see, there's a civ pool here. We see Persians, Mongols, Huns, Persians, Mongols, Huns. And players are going to be building town centers. We see teal and blue, they're on the same team building close together. This one I made actually as a map. So step up your game, yeah. Red is close to both of these. Let's see where else are town centers going up. Green is building in the mountains. Yellow is building, I don't know where. Somewhere. Where is yellow not building yet? Yellow must be building somewhere. Fog of War. Ooh, yellow's building now. Okay. So yellow took some time to find a nice place. Does have a lot of goats, though. There are lots of goats to be had on this map. Well, green has the advantage of having a fair amount of wood close by. All of these areas have, well, tiny woodlands. There is gold and stone here. There's no berries, but more wood up here. Where's purple? And purple is built down here on berries. Okay, so we have purple on berries, blue on wood, teal on wood, both between 2 wood piles, red on berries, yellow now sort of here up on wood too, with a boar. Oh, this is a good spot that yellow picked out. Took a while to build it, but has lots of food nearby too. So this is interesting. We have both of these players close together, they're on one team, then these on either flank of them are from the other team. And then we have these two players on the mountains are on two different teams. So we'll see how that goes. Here once again we have sort of the terrain layering to get this effect. In the actual mountains here, that took a fair amount of advanced tricks to get the mountains and the cliffs up there. That was the main thing I tried to achieve on this map. Well, it's not possible to have more than two terrains layered in one place. But you can do different layering at different places. Like this is, I think, savanna and gravel. This one is like dirt or dirt grass with gravel. That's a different grass, dirt with gravel. And then we have here some like leaves with gravel maybe, or light gravel with darker gravel. There's some nice effects you can do. Let's see in the feudal age, because these players are very close together. Meanwhile here, let's see, alright. So green actually built a mill down here just to get deer. Yeah, and yellow took time to build a town center, but has a very nice spot with deer here and another boar here. Wow, this is where all the action is going to be. Stable, what have we got coming up? Red. Also a stable. And we'll see. I don't know if the Mongol bonus probably doesn't apply to horses. So it should apply only to scout cavalry, so the horses don't get extra line of sight because of that. But let's see here. Towering on the berries, but there aren't that many berries left. Both are going for spearmen and scouts. Let's see, so blue is still on the way. Purple building a stable area. So this is going to be a mess over here. What blue is already migrating to safety, or I don't know why, somewhere over here. I guess with the tower here, blue's worried about not getting wood in the future. Managed to wall in the horse. Red isn't defending over here. When red has a tower here, that's main thing, but doesn't have that much military running around right now that I can see, at least. Well, it actually does have 6 somewhere. Some spearmen there. And blue is probably, yeah, it's looking to build a mill here. Oh, blue out of food here? I guess so. And this isn't a great place to be farming when you have... Wait, no, blue towered purple. Red is towering blue. What a mess. Perfect. Spearmen force these villagers back, though. They can't batter down the tower right now. Red considering a tower here, seeing the scouts considering differently. Meanwhile, yellow basically has a fully walled little corner there with even has gold in it. And green pretty much has that too. Blue getting some food here. This middle area, that's where you get to see all the fun happening. There's a hole here. Although that hole doesn't help because there are berries here. Green, so both green and yellow up to Castle Age, that makes sense. They're up there, untouched by all of this. This is nice messiness. That, well, this is what you get when players on Land Nomad all decide to build their town centers close to each other. And all the players are forced to move out for further resources, leaving lots of villagers in exposed areas. I don't think players like this map though, because wow, yeah, can lead to some entertaining games though, and it is good to have an actual Nomad map in here. It's possible actually that there's some holes somewhere in all of this with all the hills around, but same time for both of them. So these players can sort of have their Castle Age duel, or could send, both of them could send knights down. See, so purple sort of expanded backwards. So is red here, running away with all of these villagers because the scouts are here. I see some villagers going down here in a moment. Yeah. Let's see over there. That tower made it up. All of these. Well, no. Actually, some of the villagers are okay. Yellow did send the knights down. Where is green sending knights also down? I mean, yellow does have a very small, compact base. That is true. But it was mainly to make sure that nothing happened in feudal. Well, if red deletes the lumber camp, then this knight could get in, but yeah, no need for that right now. We also have Castle Age coming in for purple and for teal. Huh. See more pings here in the center. This is going to be a massacre because now there are knights running around all over the place. And all of these players down here are, you know, don't really have the opportunity to wall much. And have lots of exposed villagers all over the place. I like how this enemy lumber camp is part of the wall. See, blue Blue could eventually build a town center somewhere up here. Yellow's still sticking. No, yellow building farming TC down there on the gold too. Red is still in feudal age. Blue is now going up to castle age as well. Blue is sending lots of villagers away here because the wood has run out. What a mess everywhere. Let's see, and this in the corner. Yeah, there are lots of extra goats to find if you just spend a lot of time scouting. But that's so you don't run out of food at the beginning. You don't want a nomad map where people have food issues. That's also why there are a lot of resources overall on this map. Let's see here. Yeah, we have more knights coming in. Different players now. Lots of exposed villagers here, but the knights don't see them. Well, they do, but they decide to go somewhere else. Knights coming in on these villagers. The amount of villager kills in this game. It's actually true, sort of. Blue and teal have the advantage that they're next to each other. Well, red and purple are, especially purple, is quite separated. And also red, you know, both of them are more vulnerable to being pushed 2v1'd. It's not as bad as the last game where we watched, where one of the players was at the edge of the map, was entirely walled in by his enemies. And just all the villagers that he sent out kept getting chased down. What's this? Alright, blue's going way over here. Oh, I hear some fighting going on here. We're gonna have a big spearman fight. A lot of villagers. I don't know how many, but you can look at the villager counts. They're quite variable. If I were using capture rate, we could tell, but I don't think my computer can handle capture rate. Plus the game, plus OBS. It already, when I'm taking full map screenshots with capture age, that's already very taxing on my system. Because essentially capture age is rendering the entire game again. Oh, the lumber camp is deleted now. That's why you this was a weakness. It was always going to be one. Haha, don't use enemy buildings as part of your wall. The enemies can delete them to make a hole. Apparently there's also a camel that can make... We see what's going on here. Oh, we see more villagers going down here. Where did blue end up building? I see blue villagers still running around here, but they didn't actually build anything over there. Alright, tower goes down, everyone who's in it goes down. Let's check on the rest of the map. Alright, green is expanded that way. Looks pretty untouched. Blue sort of expanded up there. Red now up to Castle 2. Purple is in this valley here. Red is heavily chopping this. Ooh, red is going. Lots of cavalry archers. Teal, yeah. Yeah. lost all those with the I don't even know where it was. Right here. Yeah. We have a bit of a quiet now. All right, so Blue should just build a town center somewhere over here. Although maybe not. If Blue doesn't have the ability to keep it safe.
Salon?
A stone wall here, but apparently there was a hole. Well, there's a hole there too. Anyway, all of the villagers that were here went down. And this town center might go up, might not. All these camels. Where are the cav archers right now? Let's check on red. They're over here. I mean, they can, they can start and take out those villagers to begin with. They could also deal with the camels. Right now they're heading up this way. Yeah, they're gonna get rid of all of these gold miners. Let's check over here. Alright, steel building down there too. That town center did make it up in the end. Cav archers are here. Ooh, and all of these lumberjacks are going to run to green, who doesn't have anything here to defend with. Because all of green's army is over here being chased by yellow camels. Yeah, actually, cav archers were a good play here, I think. I think this map would be a lot of fun on free-for-alls. Like, the original version I made was even more mountainous. So you'd really have like little passages you could hide in. Yeah, this is doing a lot of damage here. Green's villagers are still going down. Oh, there's some running over there. Alright, that's enough camels that they can probably attack this. But more villagers being chased around. And purple is going to garrison to help out in this fight. Red is going to... Well, red could actually just run away through this hole. Or stand and fight here. No, thanks for chatting. How many people do we actually... We probably have a few other people watching. Yeah, not many, but thanks everyone for watching. These camels are going to go here, deal with all of these knights. If there are any villagers left to build the town center at that point. No. Yeah, we can send more villagers, of course. 95% done. Let's check over here. So blue is being pushed there. Put villagers back into this place. Lots of vills went down, yeah. Alright, blue did build a town center there finally. Teal running over there. Red should still have a bunch of cav archers. Oh, have a couple here. Ah, there's a castle here. Mangadai coming out. Purple. Well, it's also losing villagers. the amount of villagers that have gone down in this fight. I mean, if you look at it, you can see that blue and red have only 30-some villagers. Also because they haven't had many town centers, but they've lost plenty. Alright, that's also a castle there. Whoop! And we have knights swooping in here. Or a camel, sorry. Alright, so Blue's losing this entire base. Does have some wood droppers here. And town center there. Does green have the best eco? Yes. How is yellow doing? Decently close. Villager count. Oh, green is going for Imperial. Yeah, you might be right. Blue is dying. Blue has 29 villagers. These villagers can they can run to the castle. Alright, let me just deal with that. There we go. Big fight happening here at the town center. So Blue's base here no longer exists. And there, that lumber camp is entirely gone too. Blue has, is trying to rebuild over here. Green and Imperial. Yeah, green is in the best position currently, perhaps, but also militarily, actually, with 44 military. But blue is, again, the weakest player on the team, I think, or just unlucky in this case. Positioning. And isn't producing anything. That's always a bad sign when you look at this and you see nothing being produced at all. Because you want to be producing villagers if you're not fully boomed yet, and military just generally. Villagers going down. This castle's not going up. The villager's going to go down here. How is red doing? Well, red has a castle going up next to its base. Eventually. It's building down there again. Is red on one town center? Red is on one town center as well. Well, let's quickly see which team. Yeah, so this team, what do we have happening here? Cavaliers actually cleaning up the camels here at this point. Yeah, so red, I don't know how red had enough resources even to maintain cavalry archer production, but looks like a lot of villagers died there or ran away over here. But this many lumber camps without any villagers is always a bad sign. I mean, blue, to be fair, was pretty dead too. Or just as dead. But green is an Imperial here. Oh, that was fun to watch. I mean, I find this entertaining. It's a nice... something different from watching all these standard archers and cavalry where you have flanks and pockets perfectly set up. It can be very messy and unfair. I can see how that can be something that players don't like, but it's certainly more entertaining. Plenty of unit kills everywhere. Let's see, we can't see villager deaths anywhere specifically. We can see the villager high though, which wasn't very high for these two players. Yeah. Green had a good eco here, and teal was doing slightly better than purple. So that made up for the fact that blue was doing worse than red. Also, actually, if we look at this, this was a pretty late castle age here from red. And the cav archers did some damage here. Yeah. So if we look, that was game 4. And game 5 is the same game. Alright, so we don't need to watch that. We grab a drink. What time is it? Yeah, we can do a bit more. So that was, I think, Poland probably versus HYMB. I'm not sure what PL stands for, but I'm pretty sure that's actually what it stands for. So we have 2 other sets. Oh, these have extra long names. Where's game 1? Suomi versus Brother in Arms. Game 1. Castle Age times. Well, it entirely depends on the situation whether or not it's bad or not. If you're not being pressured, then you should have a better Castle Age time than if you go for an extended feudal play. And when I really focused on it for one of these show matches that I was in, I think I got 14 minutes with Khmer, but it was a relic, capture the relic game, and my only job was to capture the relic. Other than that, yeah, slower Castle Ages. That is game 1. Let's load that one. I mean, 18 minutes isn't fast by competitive standards, but it's acceptable. Well, it depends on your level of play, really, whether or not it's good enough. Also, if you can do enough damage early, then... Alright, so we've seen Pag today already. And here, it looks like this side, there's really not much ocean here on this side this time. There's sort of even these lakes here. Alright, green pointing out, yeah, there's land here, be aware of it. We also have a weird lake here. Yeah, so there's not much ocean up here this time around, but that means more trees, so it's not a bad thing for that team. There's actually, it's wider here too. We will see. Well, you should do more ranked games to actually figure out what your rating is. I was at like 1050 for a while, but haven't played much, so I think I'm at like 9, slightly below 1,000 at this point. At the beginning, I was very low because there was this bug where certain routers would just disconnect after 5, or the game would disconnect when in certain internet networks that were run by certain routers, including one that I was using. So I just couldn't play without a VPN. And otherwise, whenever I tested it without, I would disconnect after 5 minutes. So my ranking crashed at the beginning, but I'm also not particularly good. The good thing about an ELO system is that you end up playing. You should end up at a point where you win roughly half of the games that you play. So you don't need to be good. You know, the ELO will get you to the point where you're playing people that are as good as you are. As long as you're fine with losing half the time. That can be frustrating in itself, though. Especially when it's, you know, multiple games in a row that you lose. Let's quickly check the civs. What have we got? Mayans, Vikings, Persians, Britons, Franks, Mayans. Very standard stuff. We've seen this before. See some sheep scouting here on the shallow terrain there. These docks. This might be a disaster lake dock situation here. I think they can't sail across that gap. That is, in fact, solid sand in the middle. I think that's it. Those are lake docks right there. Meanwhile, here we've got 2 docks from this team on this side. Oh, I find Age. Well, there are lots of fun things you can do other than play ranked with Age of Empires too. I was going through the campaigns. I haven't done all of them yet, but they're actually really good. Yellow is now noticing, whoops, this dock sucks. Although it is a good place to put fish traps here. Alright. Alright, purple at least has a dock over here. Alright, let's fast forward a bit. Ping, 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 ping. Let's see. Drush. In reality, actually, I tend to just not bother with a Drush. Because my reasoning being, I don't have the micro to do enough damage for it to be worth it. And I can just, usually the games that I win in the late game, having out-countered the enemy rather than done a better job at microing or even doing a better eco. That depends, but sometimes I can close it out in Castle Age. That is not a hole, even though it looks like one. That, on the other hand, is not a hole. These mezzo houses are deceptive. That is not a hole. Wow. Alright, is yellow went for another dock after this. After this dock disaster here. Men-at-arms here. But they're walled out. Alright. Teal going here, but there are no enemy docks here. I did these raggedy edges here on purpose so it would look more natural, but also so there are more options for people to sneak up docks in different places. This is still not going to break in here. Yeah, fish traps. The advantage here, I suppose, is that these fish traps are relatively safe from losing water control, but this team is going for the side on water. Let's watch here. Red withdraws the villagers. Puts them here. These blue Oh no, both fish traps went down. Dead fish traps. Can you collect from allied fish traps? That's unfortunate for red here. Yeah, you have a nice evening too. Thanks for stopping by. I will go back to working on maps on stream once the World Desert Championship is done. Yes, no specific date though, because I don't know when all of those games are going to be completed, and when I'll have time. I might be busy next week anyway, so we'll see. If I do any map scripting streams specifically, I advertise them in our Discord there. Alright, so yeah, we have some galleys taking advantage of the water control here to deny the wood. That's a lot of villagers on not very many tree stumps. Looks like red is in a bit of a pickle. That's... yeah, this is you just, if it's just two archers, you fight them here with villagers. And the tower will help secure the gold. Yeah, it's unfortunate that red and yellow docked a pond. Interesting. Teal walled behind here just in case. Alright, green scouts somehow made it here. I don't know if they ran through or if they were transported. I don't see a transport. So they must have run through or run around. Run through, probably. Red wasn't walled. Yeah. Anyway, if anyone else wants to say anything to entertain me while we look at this, feel free to chat. I have time to answer questions about anything. I do have decent amount of Age of Empires knowledge and lots of map knowledge. Players did pick the correct colors here, because if this is one of these maps where if you don't pick... if you set team positions but don't pick the right colors, then you will end up with a... well, you'll end up with a bugged out island that will have holes in it, basically. Don't do that on this map. Well, I certainly like the South team here. They have more players up to Castle Age, have multiple walls, have water control on the left. This is... so the fishing ships, are they bugging out trying to deliver fish to these docks? That's unfortunate. Let me take a screenshot of that. I think that's what's happening here. Is that these fishing ships, let me check. Yellow. I could send that to the devs. Yeah. Yeah, where fishing ships are trying to get to the closest dock, but the dock is obstructed. I wonder if that's something that can be fixed with pathing or not easily. Where's the unpause button? There we go. Red is walling up now, but this outside here is actually still open. No players bother. What? Huh. No players bothering that much with this area yet. There's some stuff going on there. Yeah, this... I'll try and report that. see here. Oh, we have Castle Age engagements here. Everyone going up to Castle Age now. Is anyone decisively ahead? Not really at this point. Oh, this gate's gonna go down, but I guess Blue wants to wait for Castle Age. Blue might not be able to afford to wait for Castle Age here. Although it would be good too, so that these archers can be upgraded. It looks like Blue will get a chance to upgrade them. Now we immediately see crossbow come in. And vodka. Oh, what is this? So Teal is making an early push to get this side secured. Let's check here. Yellow notices the dock issue, builds a new dock. That, I think I'll report that, see if that can be fixed. And we see a landing. Teal landed some crossbows here, but not enough. Well, at least it's forced purple to not go forward. Oh, and I see a GG being called by purple. I think the military advantage here. The landing wasn't problematic, but the military advantage is what decided that. Teal had a significant army there at the end, yeah. You can see red and purple getting squeezed here. Alright, so let's look at game number 2.1 on Atacama, which surprisingly enough seems to be Japanese in mind, so not a mirror. I've seen a lot of mirrors. Although I feel like we might have seen the Japanese Mayan matchup once before already. Yeah, it's typical Atacama here. Lots of forward resources for both players. And the wood is equally far away, I would judge, roughly. So let's watch our Japanese player and speed through feudal. Yeah, so this is a custom version of Atacama with some extras, namely these mountains and unbuildable terrain on the outside to make walling to the edge harder and to be scenic. And these ponds in the middle to make sort of like an oasis, or to explain why there are trees growing here. And they also mean that these wood lines are less consistent, shall we say. So we see forward barracks from both players. And feudal age coming in first for red. And let's watch the drush. Where is Blue's drush? Blue's drush is non-existent. Blue's drush is non-existent because Blue intends to go archers, perhaps. Are we gonna see from Blue? What are we gonna see from Blue? So far I'm seeing Blue produce villagers. Alright, getting a mining camp on gold. But blue is not producing military. I guess blue can just repair this for all in perpetuity, but you would expect Mayans to go archers. Can this be repaired in perpetuity? Not if the villager... Alright, the villager's moving a house behind. Alright, red is now adding archers. Forward archery range as well. And the archers are waypointed right here, so they're going to clear out these villagers. Blue now finally adding an archery range as well. Maybe blue was a bit short on wood or some other resource. I'm liking red situations here better. Like blue... Well, blue can, of course, collect these bushes. Red can't range that without a blacksmith upgrade. I'm going to see the archer fights beginning here. Blue is getting fletching already. I don't think red has a blacksmith. Yeah, red doesn't have a blacksmith just yet. But red does break through here. And blue deletes the lumber camp to run the villagers home. And looks like some of the villagers will make it home. One villager goes down. Archer goes down. And this lumber camp is denied for the time being. Actually, these gold villagers would be a good target once red has enough archers. Blue pulling lots of villagers into the fight. And both players continuing to produce archers. We see second archery range for blue. We see the GG. I don't see who called GG or if this was a disconnect. There's a bug sometimes where chat doesn't show up, so this doesn't mean that players are being unsportsmanlike. It probably just means that blue decided this is GG. After having lost several units and not having the military to deal with red's aggression. So that was game 2.1. That was game 1. Oh, this scroll needs to be faster. Let's look at game 2.2, a Britons and Berbers matchup on Thar Desert. I'm liking these non-mirror matchups. Huh, well this is a lot of trees. Is this more than usual? I feel like this is more than usual. Maybe this is the standard amount of trees that you start with. It just, on the 3v3, it's not so apparent. Here on this map, of course, you have this river that can be sailed through. You have some gold and wood at the back for both sides. You have a river on each side. And you have this wood here on the sides here, and sort of a large open area in the middle, but on 1v1 it's sort of a small open area. Let's watch our Berber player. And there's the option to go for water, but on 1v1 you can see the amount of fish here is, well, non-negligible, but it's not large either. And you do need to have enough military to defend your wood lines. Where actually archers, I would say, would be more useful than cavalry, at least at first. So we can watch blue push some deer. Spybecks, I mean. Blue going to dock. Red has already docked. So blue's position is more accessible for reaching fish. Red is closer to home. Red scout goes down to the town center. blue lost a villager to an elephant, I think. Blue, in any case, did lose a villager to something. Alright. Yeah, alright, we see red scouting with a fishing ship. I like that, because it allows red to see that there's a dock there. Although, of course, it tells blue that red has a dock as well. Both players up to feudal. Let's slow down the game a bit. Blue not ready to produce military just yet. Red, same, but red is already sending out the ships. Red wants to take water control here. So let's watch the water. Both players getting out spearmen. And red has a stable somewhere. There we go. And blue should be getting up an archery range. That's what Britons normally do. Oh, and we see the ships can sail here. They can sail through this wet sand terrain. And they also do benefit from hill bonuses, although I'm not sure fire galleys benefit from hill bonuses because of the way their attack is. It always has a minimum of 1 damage anyway. And their attack is low with a high rate of fire. So low that it's the floor damage of doing at least 1 damage, so it makes a difference, I think. Might depend on what they're attacking. Right, red losing some units to the spearmen. Blue is getting archers out. Let's see here. Blue takes out most of the fishing ships. Red has also taken out all of the blue fishing ships. No one getting any fish today. Now that fishing ship is likely going to go down next if blue pays attention. But blue is not paying attention just yet. Because there is something more attention-worthy happening over here. Alright, blue sending this villager forward for some reason, maybe another dock, or to get more shorefish, or another dock, or to repair, or another dock. There we go. That is, of course, a heavy water investment at that point. But it doesn't look like red can really push in here currently. He's producing skirmishers. Alright, red is denying this gold now with the skirmishers. And blue does not have another source of gold. There's gold back there that requires going to. So, gold is required, of course, to produce archers and to produce any more fire galleys, say. But it looks like red is giving up on water. Rightly so. Probably, and is focusing on this aggression, but those archers, well, hard to say. The archers will do fine against the scouts, decently against the scouts, not so much against the skirmishers. And, alright, blue building a tower on the gold. Red managing to wall here because of the little gap in the wet sand terrain. So this is actually walled to the map edge, interestingly enough. And all the way over here. So it is possible to walk over and get in the back here, but red is pretty well walled. Meanwhile, blue has gold again now. Is also not really walled well enough. Hasn't bothered to deal with this fishing ship, so this fishing ship granting some more food. Let me just test if my chat is still working, or if my bot has abandoned me. Good, good. The bot is still there. Okay, that's now that fishing ship goes down. So at this point, blue, I want to say they're ahead, but actually players are entirely even economically. Red is on the way to Castle Age, which is big. Getting bloodlines. So there will be some knights coming out soon. Well, blue is in fact not very close to Castle Age. So we'll need to make some damage, do some damage with these archers soon. Before there are a bunch of knights running around. He's getting another spearman out, more archers and more skirmishers. Red will have knights here momentarily. Alright, blue looking to break through somewhere here. Let's see if there is actually a hope. I don't think there is. Oh, there is, right there. Well, so much for the fancy walls. But also red is in Castle Age, has 2 stables to produce knights from. And has managed to break in over here. Because of an overchop, I think. And that's enough skirmishers to easily deal with this. Blue building a forward market, always a good strategy. But blue building that to have a second feudal age. Well, maybe to balance the eco actually, because blue has 2 feudal age buildings already. Alright, those archers need to run at that point. And red really should be pressing the advantage, although I suppose limiting the archers before they turn into crossbows is pressing the advantage. Also, circling around here and just denying wood is the thing that red should be doing here, and that is what red does do. We see some villagers going down, and now red is going to run here again. Well, red was trying to find these archers, but they've ran the other way. Blue could sail up this river. And that's where demos can be useful. We haven't seen any good hits with those. Alright, now red knights are here. This is, I think, where it becomes critical. This is a big army, but if blue loses much of this army before Castle Age, that might be GG. Knights will be able to do a lot of damage to it. Now our villagers are joining the fight. We're going to see villagers going down, but these knights have full armor. And it looks like this is surely GG, right? Blue will try and make something happen. He's getting all the archer upgrades, but somehow has 22 military, actually. Those archers aren't going to be doing much damage currently. Yeah, I don't know. Blue needs to have... Alright, town center there, that makes sense. That secures wood and gold. After all, this wood and gold back here is entirely denied. I feel like blue lost too many villagers just now. And too many archer numbers. Because archers are really just about having a large enough number that you can snowball any engagements and one-shot basically knights, ideally. But it's all about numbers because every one of them can attack enemy units. Alright, blue trying to stonewall in, failing. Ah, this has gotta be GG. Yeah. Yeah, that's the fight that made the difference here, all of that military dying there. So that was game 2.2. So that is game. So alright, so they didn't bother with fake uploads in this set. I don't care about spoilers, so we're just gonna keep going. Let's look at game number 3 on the map pack, and that is, yeah, let's look at game number 3 on the map pack. And this map is Mount Bromo, which we have seen a few times as well. That is good. This is a bit of a Gold Rush style map with, yeah, it's basically similar to Gold Rush. There's lots of food on the outside of the berries. There are some golden stone piles and some wood in this sort of central larger crater, whereas this I would call like the central caldera, and this I would call this is like from a huge eruption in the crater, and this is the smaller central crater that might be more active. Actually, I just realized the gold sort of can look like sulfurous rocks that you do find in active volcanic areas, because the sulfur there is yellowish, or colors the things that the sulfur that the gas passes over, shall we say. I don't know if that's the right way to explain it here. Let us accelerate. Well, actually, we can look at the civs while we make our way into feudal. We have Lithuanians, Japanese, Ethiopians, and Chinese, Vikings, Lithuanians. So we have 2 sets of Lithuanians. We might as well watch the relics a bit there, if it gets to Castle Age. Alright, we had a brief pause. Let's slow down slightly and take a look. Castle Age will be coming in first, or almost at the same time for yellow and green, which are the respective Feudal Age. Sorry if I said Castle Age, are the respective pockets. And we see, let's see here, Tikil getting early walls in. It's being brushed. Green, no walls. There's the stable. Blue, starting walls, but not very far with them yet. Same on red. And same for purple. And we'll go a bit faster again until we see something of interest happening. These militia are not going to get in. These militia might get in, or nah, they're not going to get in here. And they're going to circle around here, and they're going to become men-at-arms. But they're not going to be able to do much damage. We see archers here now to help defend. Over here, these militia still looking around. Purple now close to being fully walled, although there's a hole back there. Yeah, both blue and teal going more for team walls to the center. and a bit of defensive walls to deal with the rushes. Alright, those men-at-arms cleared up over there. And we'll slow down a bit and take a look here. We had some archers here. Bit of an archer fight happening there. Still going on, actually. And what do we have here? Scout fight there. That makes sense. And we have Teal on the way to Castle Age. So Teal got away with basically not making any military, I think. Maybe before clicking up. I think that was after clicking up already. Or just around then, but just a lot of walling here managed to keep these militia well out of the base. Alright, red coming in with a lot of archers here. Wow, a decent number. Okay, so Teal with the quick Castle Age. But if when a flank does that, that just means crossbows, which aren't as big an advantage as getting quick knights. Knights can really make a big difference, or a big power spike. I think crossbow is a smaller power spike, because you need the numbers for that really to be useful in Castle Age. Alright, looks like we have some team walls being prepared here. Alright, let's see. What have we got here in Castle Age? More town centers, fair enough. Archer upgrades, fair enough. But I don't see where a handful of crossbows are going to be able to do much damage. I mean, some potential sites have been pinged. This is a good potential area. What's red doing here? Okay, there's a defensive tower. Now the crossbows here, they pick off some more of the scouts. They could, alright, yellow's already preemptively evacuated the woodlands. Is run these villagers way back. Right, Castle Age coming in everywhere now. Yellow already there. No, sorry, green already there, yellow there now. Blue languishing in feudal age though. Getting up a market now here. Let's see. So I'm seeing a lot of crossbow reinforcements being waypointed across here. They could do some damage. Alright, well there's a tower on the gold here. That is going to be a TC, so maybe they can't do that much damage. And in low numbers they will go down to knights. So we'll keep watching that. That's just a defensive army. There are technically some rules regarding tributes. I don't know exactly what they are, but this might not be completely kosher. In Imperial Age you can sling whoever you want. In Castle Age you can sling anyone who's also in Castle Age, or I don't know. I think what you can't do is when you're... I don't know exactly, I don't want to make a false statement here. In Imperial Age you can sling everyone, but there are restrictions about slinging earlier. But it hasn't been a big issue. We've seen one other time where someone sent a small amount. But read the rules, guys. Even when they are long and complicated. Alright, so Teal has lots of military over here. Not enough to deal with this at home. But with the help of the Green Knights, might be able to do that. And is going to go and continue harassing these villagers, forced to go back over here again. Ooh, Red got out a ram in the archer fight. That, well, that requires some Green Knights to deal with as well, otherwise Red should be able to push this easily with these numbers. Yeah, this purple army clears out most of the crossbow, but will go down to the Knights ultimately. This push, though, how much military does Blue just have right now? 14. Versus Red's 36. Yeah. And Blue now has, well, the defensive siege workshop. That can turn the fight. With, say, a couple lucky mangonel shots in that, or to deal with the ram. But Blue doesn't have an archery range. Or Blue does have an archery range there. But we'll need more elite skirmishers. Actually needs siege. Blue needs siege here. Blue needs several mangonels and some lucky shots. Or green to snipe the siege. That would also help. We see here, that's university. Okay. Let's watch this. This is an important engagement. So green does snipe one of the mangonels. Blue doesn't really... Blue has a lot of skirmishers in the mix, but it's still a low number of overall units. Let's see how the mangonel does. I think Red can take that fight. It's not great for gold efficiency, but Red will win that. Red does have to worry about this. Red is, of course, coming up with new mangonels as well. Archer's massing up over there. Ah, yes. And yes, you see there, that is now a +2 attack because of the collected relic. Let's take a look on the Green Knights if we happen to find some somewhere. How much attack are they sitting on? +4. So green already has 2 relics in this 4 relics in the monastery and no attack upgrades. Solid. That's being very diligent in relic collection. Let's see here. Blue's whole wall here is gone. Yellow will easily snipe that. There are enough relics so that yellow can pick up, say, this one. And red should let yellow get that one too. So yellow can get a decent attack upgrade on the knights as well. As Lithuanians, of course, get said upgrade. What have we got happening over here? Ooh, a lot of villagers exposed. Exposed over here. It looks like this engagement is moving over to green. Blue coming to help out with some skirmishers and aiming, you know. Alright, and here it just matters, like yellow should send some Night Steel for skirmishers. Red should use these to deal with knights. Green should, I guess, be being a meat shield. Yeah. Let's check over here. This scary army is still moving around here. The purple is now pulled in defenses, and yellow also sending units to reinforce. Where is the red army? The red army is actually moving across. Or going back, but taking the hill in any case. Alright, Teal continuing to raid here. How's our villager count situation doing? Teal in the overall best situation. This is in fact... Alright, so this is the Sand League. So, World Desert Championship, there's like a main event, which is the pros. And that has mostly been played except for the finals, which I believe are on Friday. And that will be casted by all the big people. And then there's the Sand League, which is all the teams that didn't make it into the finals. But at this point, we're in the round of 16, is what I'm looking at right now here. And a lot of these games are pretty, decently high level as well. I don't know the exact levels of the players, but the plays that we're seeing are pretty good. And the teams that were not as good lost in the round of 32 already. But it ranges from anywhere to teams that just missed the cut for the main event to low-level teams that signed up. The Sand League wasn't full, so any teams who had enough people were able to make it in. Alright, blue is now castling the center. Actually, a lot of stuff has been happening. Let me briefly check. This huge force is still here and protecting a castle that's going up. Blue gave up castling the center because there were too many arbs here. Purple has just sent some villagers forward there. Let's check this. Any engagements happening here? Okay, blue opts for a more defensive castle, which should make it up. Let's check yellow's relic count. Yellow probably has a few relics in there now. 3. Alright. Now that green has 4 relics. This castle doesn't go up. That is unfortunate, and a fair amount of dead villagers. Castle in the center would have been useful. We also have Imperial Age in for red and teal and purple, and we have all the other players on the way. So any castles that do go up will be a Treb War. And this is a castle that is not going to go up. Even with this many villagers, this is just lots of lost villagers. And even if it were to go up, there's a trebuchet that will take it right back down. Trebuchet isn't even bothering to target it, it's going straight for the town center. That castle's not going up. Let's check over here. We have teal attempting to set up trade. This push is going to... There are decent numbers here, but another castle there. Let's check on this side. That castle still hasn't gone up because blue does not have enough military to force this engagement here. So it looks like that's also why I suppose our teal is setting up trade. If this team doesn't control the gold in the center, they need it. Yeah, you want if you're defending you want to make sure that your defensive building actually goes up. And in Castle Age, you could try and force this, but if you're up against Trebs, you don't want it this close. Unless you really have enough military to force it, but at that point you wouldn't be defending. Purple does get this up, but this is a serious push here. Hello, hello. And yeah, alright, yellow getting up a castle there. I don't think this castle was deleted, it never went up. Red is pushing here heavily. I hear something shooting here, but I don't see it. Oh, there. Okay, that's just the house, that's fine. Alright, blue's still going skirmishers. Alright, now green's going to attempt to get a castle up. That's not many villagers, but there is no military nearby currently. Yet. Alright, purple gets a castle up. It's going to get one up though. And yellow should produce Trebs there. You really want to send more villagers for a castle in this exposed of a location. Because otherwise it doesn't get up in time. Yeah. This many cavaliers here. Green's sending a few more villagers, but that's not going to get up. Now is blue doing... Blue is going skirmishers, that's not a great sign. Alright, going for another defensive castle here. Teal is in. Treb down that castle, building another one here. All this eco denied. And purple forced to run back and rebuild further back. But meanwhile, our warm colored team has the center fully in trade. Seems to be up and running. I don't know. Yeah, green built some here. Alright, we see all the cavaliers come back. It's sort of a question of where to have your military. This is true, because bombard cannons could be used to snipe the tributaries, and if you don't have those, you need to win the military engagement, or you need your ally to send in Lithuanian paladins. Which is what is happening right now. Meanwhile, this side... Castle is up, but I don't see blue contributing, and blue doesn't... Alright, blue has some crossbows, but or is training crossbows, but blue really just has skirmishers. This... What happened to all of Teal's military? I think it died to the paladins, right? Kamehameha, all the shaders. Don't delete all the shaders. Are these castles being pushed back? There are more to fall back to here. And green has not had enough resources to... Or is actually getting paladin upgrade here. That's not many units. The blue doesn't really have the military to do much here. Big engagement here, though. if we look at the villager count situation, everyone theoretically has a solid eco except for purple, which has a destroyed eco. But I just wasn't seeing that many useful, like, alright, blue now has still producing skirmishers mainly, which just aren't going to hold up to paladins and aren't going to hold up to rams. Let's see here. That's a lot of paladins. Well, how's our center looking? Red is pushing. Yeah. I mean, I would say this is over, but purple, of course, took a lot of damage, so if it weren't for that, it would be over here. Oh, by the way, I saw your new profile picture there. You had drawn. That looks nice. Let's see, alright, we have markets there. So that team's also thinking about trade. Green does not have military at home to deal with that. Green, in fact, does not have military, period. Because green doesn't have... Well, there's gold to be had. There is trade happening. But I'm guessing green is a bit low on gold right now. We could check that. No, green has 2 villagers on gold. That's part of the problem. And it's still trying to get trade up here. This push is still happening, but teal can't push alone here against both of these armies. Ah, green getting many new stables up here. And is actually producing lots of paladins now, so seems to have... I found the new gold source. And it was ramping up trade. In the long run, though, in a gold rush map, you kind of do want to control the gold. Yeah, exactly. Like, trade costs gold to set up. And is not a good substitution for owning it, for having the center. Surprisingly, blue is actually able to mine this gold uncontested. I guess it's because red is focusing on the center. Also the trade line, well, actually it's not that obstructed. Could be worse. Gold is definitely going to be an issue there. Teal is doing a good job of continuing to push here, but purple managing to reboot back here. Where is green sending the paladins? Oh, green is still getting trade set up. Ah, here. That castle goes down. Blue. What does blue have? Skirmishers. And lots of villagers that are about to die in a few hours. I think, well, surprisingly enough, cool colors have the overall better score. Despite everything. But yeah, it's not a good sign when you're queuing up light cav. Or when you're queuing up nothing, that's an even worse sign. In this stage of the game. Unless you're PopCap. Which currently... Well, if we look at the village accounts here, teal is fully PopCap. Yellow and purple, I suppose. I mean, the trade... There is a fair amount of trade here now. Blue is setting up trade now as well. Having had these mini gold clouds. Actually, no, blue is just mining that gold anyway. Fair enough. Teal is still holding here. Now that yellow has been forced to go down here to fight here. And green does have one more relic for one more attack on the paladins. It doesn't make all the difference in the world. This, though, fully saturated center. That's a lot of gold. I didn't think this game would continue here, but I wouldn't be ready to call it for either side yet. Paladins are certainly wrecking. They're over here now. Blue is being overrun right now. Where is Green's military? Green does not have much military. That is part of the problem right now. There are lots of farms here, but not a lot of military from blue, and nothing to deal with paladins. Yeah, so while the eco numbers are actually not that bad just yet, red there isn't looking great either, because red has a bunch of arbs back there to deal with. That explains where blue's military is. So we have this castle should actually go up. Oh no, it doesn't. It will go up eventually, but at the cost of villagers. Or it will go up eventually once this army has been cleared out. Meanwhile here, teal pushing again with new castles. Now up against onagers. Actually, teal is built, basically built up into this area. And, ooh, if the paladins get into the trade line, that could be an issue, because now green is being heavily raided. And blue did bleed a lot of villagers here over time. It took a while. Blue is now in a full place here. Alright, paladins are in the trade. This castle's not going to go up either unless there's some military to support it. This one here, sitting at 98%. Alright, this might be GG because both green and blue are being wrecked. Teal. Teal now is facing Trebs too. Teal did a good job though. Pushing and then holding this side. I continue to push here. This is a recorded game. So I could tell you what the score is, but I would have to go check myself. I might cast the semifinals or the finals live, depending on when they actually take place. GG being called. But for these earlier games, I've just been casting the Rex. Because that's easier, it's more flexible for me, and there isn't that much interested in people watching them. So yeah, I was surprised at how long our cool colors here managed to hold out. They did get trade up almost in time. Teal certainly got trade up in time. Green didn't add enough trade cards until too late, I think. And of course, not having the center hurts. But I mean, this, I dare say, despite the fact that the castle went down, Teal was still holding this. Lots of siege rams, lots of arbs, probably still good population count, but looks like lots of villager deaths all around the board, actually. Yeah. Alright. So I'm just going to click through those. I haven't been talking about the statistics themselves because we have lots of games to look at. Yeah, only there at the end. That was when green lost eco and also blue was still losing stuff. Yeah, return to replace. So that was game number 3. So we can quickly check game number 4, which is a different game. So we're going to hop into that one in a second. Let me quickly grab a drink. I'll load that one already, though. Alright, so this is Pamir Mountains again. We've seen this today already in a different series. And this is a land nomad map. And it looks like we will be having lots of town centers over here in the west of the map. Let's see if I can find all the town centers. How am I best going to do this? Let's actually turn on Fog of War. So yeah, blue's building there. That's volume, let's go like that. Teal's building there, that's close to blue. Green is building further south. Red is building close to the others, but up in the mountains. Yellow is building over here as well, and pulled one villager from really far away. We'll bring some goats along. And purple is building sort of in the middle of the map. So here, the players, this was a set map in this level of the tournament. I think it was set as game 4, so that's why we're seeing it more often. I don't think it's ever been picked voluntarily, but you wouldn't pick it for a 1v1 anyway. So how is this going to look? We have yellow is going to be... Well, no, yellow and red can sort of hold the top here against blue and teal, while green and purple can have sort of their own areas to fight and have less issues with early aggression and feudal age. Purple building on the berries, green building on berries, teal building, ooh, found a nice spot with wood and berries and gold. This is a nice TC spot. That's a nice TC spot. Blue also getting wood and food, And same here for yellow. And we'll check what did red manage to secure. Well, hill bonus and a decent amount of wood, plus some stone, actually. On any sort of nomad map, it's a question of, or especially any nomad map where you don't start all the same place, how much time to spend looking for a good place is the main question there. Usually you spend no time at all, but if you can spend a bit of time, you end up with a very nice spot like that. Who are we going to watch in Dark Age? I expect to see... What is the early aggression going to be? It's going to be blue. Blue's the subject of early aggression, likely. Let's watch what blue does. Let's see here. I guess we can talk about civs too. We have Persians, Mongols, and Huns. We also have a Turk player, which is interesting. Because there's a civ pool, when the maps are set, there's a civ pool of 5, maybe 6 civilizations that players have to choose from. Or if they're getting a map where it could be any of them, then they can pick whichever civilizations they want, and that's when we see like a knight civ and 2 archer civs every time. And always, you know, Franks or Lithuanians, and then we have Ethiopians and Britons, basically. Or maybe Mayans. That's archer civs. Let's continue speeding through Dark Age. So, yeah. Double archer ranges coming out there. Little walls coming out here. What have we got here? Single archery range here. Stable. Purple has already built some forward lumber camps. I mean, I guess there aren't very many nice mountain woodlines over here, but this is very close to the green. Military production buildings. Yeah, so we're going to have sort of a 1v1 here, likely, unless these 2 players decide to support their teammates rather than attack each other. And, alright, looks like Teal is going for some ambitious walls. And is taking down the scout. The horse scout, that is. And we're going to see, we should be seeing lots of aggression here and here. Momentarily. With everyone up to feudal now. Alright, Teal still needs to get the production buildings up. And there are lots of goats that you can collect even in the mid-game if no one else has gone and collected them. Yeah, this lumber camp was never going to be safe without some quick walls or something. Nor without lots of military right around here. So we are definitely going to see some skirmishes here. Let's check here. Alright, looks like a defensive tower from blue. And what is red is building mills on lots of berries to support scout production. What's happening down here? Ah, that's still our site here. Ooh, purple ran out of military in this area. He's gonna get that wall up now, though. Oh no, he's gonna send the villagers out to fight. And might actually win that because there are more spearmen. Purple's winning this at the moment. At the cost of idle time, of course. And I see teal is clicking up the castle age. So we'll check on that in a bit. Well, right now this continues to be a place of combat at least. Teal has... Oh, see? A decent attempt at walling here. Not full walled, but getting around the walls requires a lot of walking. Teal, as the Mongols, will be able to make, for example, cav archers in Castle Age. Looks like yellow is walling as well. The massive spearman battles here continue. Blue getting a market up there. Blue is in a bit of a exposed location here. Alright, so let's see what Castle Age brings for teal. Archers. While okay. I guess there's no point in upgrading to crossbow when you have, in fact, no archers. Teal does have some military somewhere. Okay, there are a few there. Alright, now they're going to be crossbows. I thought there was extra goats standing around. This skirmish continues. Lots of spearmen and lots of scouts. But we'll watch over here. Let's see, the crossbows are just going to try and break through here, and they're going to succeed, but then there should be some units to back up this. Alright, they take out a villager, they're going to... Teal probably can't take this engagement, that's a lot of scouts. Yellow actually deleting the palisade there to allow red to get a better surround. Yeah, basically. So all of those crossbows for now will go down. If we check on our battle over here, we devolved into a tower war, and we have large hordes of spearmen chasing each other down. See, sort of these days, it's a mirror, isn't it? It's Persians and Persians fighting here. Alright. Purple sending the villagers forward to batter this down. This one goes down. And green not paying enough attention or not able to ungarrison on the correct side. I'm going to try now to ungarrison over there. That tower might go down too, though. Meanwhile, green pushing in here again. Alright, so this tower is going to go down too, because green can't get in to attack these villagers. Meanwhile, blue has some nice archer numbers. Red has a hole in the wall there, but overall a decent looking base with a naturally walled back. Blue's gonna break in here. What is teal doing? Teal managed to deny those stone walls and is now going to hunt around and find a bunch of villagers building a tower. This fight is still continuing here. We'll see over here because this is big. Red needs to help out yellow in this case. And yellow could get gold there, but not while there are a bunch of blue archers around. Can't get gold here while there are a bunch of teal archers under the tower. Alright. Most players on the way to Castle Age now. Or already there. except for blue and purple. Alright, red coming in finally to help clear this. And does so far, although I don't think red can engage against all of this at once. Meanwhile, green getting some good scout raids in here. And we still have large amounts of spearmen. Green has basically denied all of this. Took a while, but did succeed. Let's see. Blue archers all going down. Teal crossbows can probably hold the gap open. Right here. Alright. More players reaching Castle Age. And how are we doing? Ooh, blue is running out of good sources of wood. Yeah. Nothing, basically just that. Teal building a TC over there on stone. So I suppose our cool colors have the advantage that their base is more contiguous, but also they're sort of separated from the rest of the map. So, especially blue, or especially teal actually, if it gets to the late game, we'll need to expand somehow to the rest of the map. The eternal Persian struggle here continues. Green now, though, in Castle Age, and purple not in Castle Age. And not on the way to Castle Age. Red going in here. Let's see. Could take the tower down. Could cause more eco damage before these crossbows come in to help. Purple should actually be in trouble here. Still in feudal, up against pikemen now. Scouts do not perform well against pikemen anymore, at all. I mean, they never perform well against spears either. But... And also, having teal here help out, so it's basically sort of a 2v1 here. So purple's villager count not looking pretty. Meanwhile, the red continuing to cause damage, took down the tower, now over here raiding teal. Blue gets its wood here now, gets wood there. Let's see, that's yellow, that's fine. I think purple though, 21 villagers. Where is purple actually gathering anything useful? Only by the town center and this gold. Does purple have a market? Yes. That is one way to get to Castle Age. You can buy your way up. But let's see here. Alright, so blue now has cav archers. Red scouts are finally being cleared out. Green has knights. So I guess blue was also having some difficulty here with all the fighting happening in blue's base. Red having a nice multi-TC boom and a very long extended wall with some... Yeah, red is very safe. Lots of safe places. Alright, that is an important tower for purple to get up, but... like, with a bit of pressure, purple would just entirely be out of the game here. Maybe purple already is, for all intents and purposes, out of the game. Just with some occasional raiding. I suppose that's why green is sending the knights up here instead. And we see camels. Red has got camels in here, which will do well against the knights, not so well against this many cav archers. Camels don't have as much pierce armor as knights. That being said, these camels are fully upgraded. If we check here, yeah, purple is dead. Purple is actually dead. I mean, purple should run villagers somewhere. The castle here and siege, this is not going to hold any longer. On the other hand, blue here is, I see a blue exodus happening right now. Yeah, purple is not a factor at this point. Where's blue? Blue's just running the villagers down here, but blue actually needs wood, and wood is going to require running further. Okay, the camel's chasing down the remaining cav archers. Alright. Yeah, blue has a lot of villagers on the move right now. Red managing to push in here quite a bit. Well, how is this side doing? Purple trying to go over there, still stuck in feudal. Still on 20-some villagers. Red managing to get a pretty good raid in here. Red will be cleared out now. What is blue doing? All of these villagers on gold. Blue's eco is slightly out of whack here. Probably needs to get like a lumber camp up somewhere down there. Because you do need wood and gold to maintain cav archer production. Alright. Yeah, okay, teal getting up a castle there. It's not on the front line, but that will help prevent raids, and it is on a hill. Green now getting lots of camels out as well. And teal did build a castle, so is able to get Mangadais out. Red going for light cav. Turks do get the instant upgrade, right? So that would explain that. Oh, blue raiding purple over here. Who's still stuck on 20-some villagers and isn't going to be advancing beyond that anytime. Actually, purple, at this point, purple needs to run to yellow's base or to a far corner of the map. And probably wouldn't even be able to make it anywhere undetected. Blue's rebuilding here. I guess that is in the safety of the castles. And it does provide gold. This is... Somehow purple's getting castle age, but this TC might need some repairing to even survive until castle age. I think this is very much over. No matter how much military red here can field. Yellow hasn't been fielding that much. yellow actually have similar villager counts if we look at it now. Both teal and green are fully boomed. Right, Castle Age will come in. Purple, though, on 11 villagers. Oh boy, and that's 10 of them are there. Yeah, that's... I think this is over. If you have an ally entirely dead, you need to be doing even better than this. Which, yeah, this is very much over. Imp coming in for yellow. Yellow has 45 villagers. I don't think yellow should be going for imp. Yellow should be getting more military out. Red, sure, red can go for imp. Red probably also should actually be getting more military out. I just don't see how imp is going to help yellow particularly. How is purple's villager count now on 9? Do we see any like TCs in the far corner? No. None of these villagers are even going to make it out from purple. This one is walling. Quick panics walls there, but I shouldn't focus on that. I should focus on where the important engagements are happening, like here. Well, we see teal is getting a castle in between red and yellow, which will deny lots of farms, possibly the gold. And that's GG. Yeah, that was GG for a while, actually. Yellow wants to reach him. There we go. All right. So that was the last game of Suomi versus Brother in Arms. We do have one more set. Question is whether I'm going to cast that now. Let me check. How many people do we have watching right now? Not many. It would be good to get this set through. On the other hand, it is late where I am. Alright. You know what? I'm going to take a short break. I need a drink and I need to rest my voice. And then I'll come back in a moment and decide whether or not I'm casting the... Alright guys, so I've had a quick peek at the brackets, and I think the final set between VLAN Power and New Chapter, well, let me just say it has a lot of games in it. We have, looks to be pretty evenly matched set with both teams winning several. I won't tell you who wins in the end, but long story short, I don't have the energy to cast another 7 games right now. So we'll be doing those the next time I cast these. That will be the final round of 16 to look at, and then we already have some of the quarterfinal games done, it seems. But yeah, if I start those now, it'll be too late by the time I finish. So we'll be doing those next time. Thanks for stopping by. Do check out the information about the World Desert Championship, and do consider supporting anti-desertification efforts. I think I'll do a proper looking at environmental issues segment during the finals, I think, or maybe if the semifinals are live, because then there'll be lots of downtime. So I think that would be a good chance, and possibly I'll have more viewers than to actually reach. So that's going to be it for today. I'm going to call it, and thanks for being here. If you're watching this later, enjoy the VOD. Hopefully my casting was good. And yes, thanks for tuning in.